And you're back with Mr. C with Geometry Basics. The word geometry comes from geo, which meant the earth, and metrics, which meant to measure things. So back in the day, they wanted to measure the world. That's where we get the word geometry. So we're going to start with some basics here. They wanted to measure things, so they started with a point. A point is an exact measurable location of a place or space. And points are often named like this. This is point A, and we have some different points here. You can see that once you have different points, you can measure between them. You can connect them to make angles. A lot of things you can do with points. So we start with a point, and then once you have a point, you can connect those 2 points to make a line. So we have a point here, we have a point here. This point is called M, this is K. You connect them and they'll form a line that goes on forever, infinitely, in both directions. We show that with an arrow on each end like that. So this is a line, and lines may also be shown with arrows on both ends without points. So lines are 2 points connected. They go on forever in both directions. We can't show that, so we just show our arrows on both ends like that. Next we have a line segment, and a line segment is measurable because it goes from one place to another. You can see it has endpoints. So this point is called K, this one's T, and you can now measure it. So a line segment is a part of a line, because the word segment means part. It has a beginning point and an end point. And you may see line segments shown without points at the end like that. The difference between line segments and lines are they should have arrows if it's a line. If it's drawn properly, it'll have arrows at the end, and line segments will not have arrows at the end. Next thing is an array. It's kind of a combination of an endpoint and a line that goes on forever. That's an array. Arrays start at a point and they go on in one direction forever. So this is an array called MP, or array called PM, and it starts there. That's the point of origin, and it goes out in one direction forever. And you may see them shown either this way, or this way. Those are called arrays. And this starting point here can be either called an end point or a point of origin. So here's the point of origin, or the end point, and this array would be called array S, and this array would be called array MP. After that you have parallel lines, and parallel lines are lines that will never get any farther or closer to each other. And you can see parallel lines here. We have looks like a line here, array, another line, and array, and these are all parallel to each other. They'll never get any closer or farther apart from each other. You can see they may be different distances, but they're always the same distance apart. So these are parallel lines. Then we have intersecting lines, or an intersection. This is where lines will cross each other at a common point. Common means they share it. So here we have intersecting lines. This red line here, we have a line segment, we have a ray, and you can see that this line segment BG is crossing this line here at point F, and this array here is crossing this red line at point R. So where they cross each other, that's called an intersection. You may remember that word from traffic or on the streets. You have an intersection is where two streets will cross each other. So intersecting lines cross each other, and then perpendicular lines are a special kind of intersection. They're lines that will cross each other or touch at a common or shared point, and they will form a right angle or 90 degrees. So let me show you that. Perpendicular lines do cross each other like this, but they cross when they cross each other, they form a right angle. This right angle will be shown with a little box in the corner. So here, this is also perpendicular because they're meeting each other, they're touching, and they form this 90 degree angle. So this is a perpendicular, this is a perpendicular, but these two are no, they are not, because they cross each other, but they don't form a right angle there, and they don't form a right angle there. So this is not perpendicular, but it is an intersection. And then we have here perpendicular lines, because they cross each other at 90 degrees. So a real quick review: perpendicular are lines that touch or cross, and they form right angles. Intersecting just cross each other. Parallel are lines that will never come together, will never touch. A ray is like a combination of a line segment and a line. Line segments are pieces of lines. Lines go on for both directions forever. They're made up of points, and the point is where you start from. So, a real quick review. I want to have you name these items as I point to them. Just go ahead and say it in your head or say it out loud. I'm pointing to a line segment. Here, those are intersecting lines, but they're also perpendicular. So we should say perpendicular there. Here I have intersecting, that's an intersection there. Another intersection. Remember, say these things out loud when I point to them. So let's go ahead and say this. This is a line, we can tell because it's a line and then it has arrows on the end. So that's a line. This is called a what? That's a ray. It has an end point or a point of origin, and it goes in one direction forever. We see here a point. This point is called Q. And we see here some parallel lines. So parallel lines, a line, intersecting, ray, point, perpendicular lines, and a line segment. There's a real quick review page for you to do today. It's on Google Classroom. So go to the math section and finish it up. Thank you for spending time with Geometry Basic with Mr. C. All right, go do that math page and turn it in. Thank you.